The media is a huge part of this. The media, I believe, like the criminals, the politicians are criminals, let's face it, they're all criminals. They're doing terrible things to the planet. But the media, as far as I'm concerned, are even more criminals, because the politicians, we know they're criminals. They're bought and paid for to begin with. But the media, we employ these people. These people are a government watchdog. If you look at the American Constitution, for example, the media is the only non-government organisation that's mentioned in the Constitution, because it is so necessary to have a strong independent media and a powerful and an honest and unbiased media in order to have a responsible government. If you don't have that, you don't have any accountability for your government. So that's what we need this. We need this. And the media is grossly irresponsible in all that they've done. As far as I'm concerned, they're guilty of as many, if not more, crimes than the government, just because they have a choice in the matter. I don't know how anyone could get up on TV and just tell barefaced lies the way they do, no matter how much they're paid. I mean, you know, they get them in there, they get used to these lifestyles, they don't want to lose their money, they want to keep living this way, but still, I don't know how they could do it. I mean, I've met people who've been, had millions of dollars, and they've given it all away and gone around the world with a backpack and been the happiest that they've been in their lives. So there's no reason for these people to get up and lie, yet they do, you know. And we go through it all, folks, because we're taught that there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. If we work hard, there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It's all going to work out, but really, that's what we get. You know, it doesn't matter how hard you work, doesn't matter how much you've got. Eventually, it just gets taken from you, because they can just switch the power of money on and off, switch the value of money on and off. You know, economic crashes. You know, it's interesting, isn't it? In an economic crash, suddenly everyone looks at this worthless paper in their wallet, and they think, "Wow, it's all worthless now. It's just paper." But it was before. It was just paper. It didn't have any real value, but they switched the value on and off. This is mind control of the most incredible kind. How people can open their wallet. The whole system's still here. It's all functioning. All the trucks are still there. Everything's still there. The infrastructure still works. But oh no, I can't use it because they've switched the value of my paper off. How did it have value to begin with? It's mind control. That's what money's for. And this is what they're doing to the world, folks. This is what they have planned for us. And there's you know, we can petition these people. We can protest the mines. We can protest coal seam gas. We can protest all this stuff as individual things. It doesn't really get us anywhere. Petitioning governments, I mean, it's a good thing to do to show that we know, and it's a good thing to show solidarity, but it doesn't really get anywhere. And when you petition a government, you're pleading with them. Please do the right thing, my elected politician, my ruler. These people are our servants, folks. We don't have to ask them to do things for us. We have to tell them what we want them to do. We don't do that because we live in disunited communities. That's the problem. So we get this. This is our jobs, folks. This is what we go out and do for a living. We create all of this ourselves because we crave paper, because we have to, because we've got to pay to be alive. Not many people ask themselves the question, why do I have to pay to live on the planet that I was born on? And so people look for why the world is the way it is. You know, people go through this wake-up process, this gradual wake-up process. They go through all these things and they try to figure out what to do. They mount petitions, they mount movements, they do all sorts of things, and nothing works, and so they go down the rabbit hole. Okay, there's a terrible hand at the top that's controlling things. How do we fix it? They go down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole, and it takes them to endless places. They start to connect the dots, which can be difficult, and they end up somewhere like this, which is just, you know, out of control. Folks, the whole conspiracy movement, sure, there's a conspiracy. There's a really big conspiracy, but there's a conspiracy culture that's been superimposed over the actual conspiracy to get everybody running down rabbit holes. The Illuminati, the terrible shadowy hand that we just can't possibly do anything about because it's just too damn big and powerful. Well, that's really empowering to know about that stuff, isn't it? You know, like, what we're dealing with here is something that's going on right around us right now, and we're going down all these rabbit holes looking for people to point the finger at. We're not looking at ourselves. We're not looking at what's happening around us. Every single problem that we face on this planet, whether it's pollution, whether it's homelessness, whether it's Fukushima that I showed you before, whether it's coal seam gas mining, it doesn't matter what it is. Whether it's the corporate rape of the Amazon, doesn't matter what it is. All of it happens because of legislation that's put in place by governments. And the governments get away with doing this because we live in disunited, disempowered communities because we've been trained to be that way. This is how easy it is to create these mazes for people, folks. And what it does is it makes people believe that there's this all-powerful hand that you can't do anything about that controls everything. All they've got to do is put a pyramid in a movie and, oh my God, the Illuminati controls everything. They just got to put these subliminals there. Sure, there are Hollywood subliminals. There's all sorts of stuff going on, and sure, there is a dark hand. But it's not as powerful as you think. It's created the concept to make you think that it's that powerful, to disempower you. You know, we've gone down all these rabbit holes, we looked at all this stuff, and the controlling hand is not really that strong, folks. It's actually very weak, and it's stumbling like hell at the moment. So we see all these things, and we don't talk about it, and we don't know what to do about it, and we're left in a state of complete disempowerment because of a lot of the conspiracy culture. It's a distraction. It's an absolute distraction from what's going on around us, and it's created this meme in people's minds where it's this all-powerful hand that we can't do anything about. And look, when you look at some of the information that we got on the weekend today, yeah, there's a lot of shit going on. It's a pretty powerful hand, and it's doing a lot of stuff which is very, very difficult to combat. But there are mechanisms in place that we can use. Now, I'm basically an anarchist, really. If you want to look at it, I mean, I believe in self-governance. But I think we've got a long way to go to get there. And people have to understand there's been a series of steps that have brought us to this point. And too much in this movement, this culture, this alternate media, the truth movement, whatever you want to call it. I think truth movement is the wrong word, but a lot of it isn't truthful. But in this culture, there's this all or nothing kind of mentality. You know, I'm an anarchist, therefore I want total anarchy. We've got to crash the system today and we can all be free. It won't work that way because a lot of people aren't ready for self-governance. The banks don't care about humanity. A bank will repossess someone's house and throw them out on the street. The house will sit there empty. The bank doesn't even need the house. It just needs to balance the books because that's what it's about, balancing the books. And that's a really sick thing when you think about it. And that's what we got. And it's going to continue. We can petition these people. We can vote people in and vote people out. Why don't we just stand up and call it for what it is? Stand up and call it for what it is. Be brutally honest. Don't be politically correct. And point the finger where it needs to be pointed. But don't think there's this dark, shadowy hand that you can't deal with. You know, and don't go going down these rabbit holes. All these rabbit holes. I got attacked recently by the flat earth people. I respect the flat earth people. Hey, I can prove to you the earth is flat. I can prove to you it's round. I can prove to you it's a hologram. Give me a day to set up a slideshow. I can offer you a concise proof and offer you something that you will believe. That the earth is flat, the earth is round, the earth's a hologram, that the moon is artificial, the moon is round, the moon's a hologram, the moon's flat. I can prove to you that the world is run by the Jesuits, it's run by the banksters, it's run by the Jews, it's run by the Freemasons, aliens live under the world. I can prove it all to you. Give me a day, I'll set up a slideshow for you and I'll offer you a convincing argument for any one of the above. Doesn't make any of it true. And you get to a point where you realise that all of these rabbit holes have been put there to just keep us running down rabbit holes and thinking there's this big, dark, shadowy hand and we can't deal with anything. If you want to know if the earth is flat, gain control of the system and go to the South Pole and check it out. Every single mystery that we're given to go and explore exists because we don't have control of the system. That's it. That's the root cause of the whole problem. So let's get control of the system by regaining control of ourselves and stop seeing ourselves as little people who can't do anything. You know, the alternate media needs to provide a safety net for people who are waking up to the reality of the situation, and you need to be providing pathways to solutions. I don't know what all the solutions are. I'd like to. I've been trying, but I can't do it without your help. You know, we all need to link up our minds together and do this together because everybody's got a piece of the puzzle. Everybody has value. Everybody has something valid to offer. We really do. We can't shout each other down. We can't have our movements. We need to link everything together.
Government is not and has never acted in the best interests of the populace. Government's only interest really is in control of the populace. The government has done this via control of virtually every aspect of our lives, and most especially through control of the education system, because through controlling the education system, they've been able to stifle free and independent thought. Through control of the education system, they've been able to train people to work always towards improving the mechanism of the system. That's what success is. Success is making your company more efficient, more streamlined, improving the bottom line, maximising profits. That's always been the role of government, folks, to make the system more strong and to make humankind more expendable.